As a woman, I understand all women 100%.
Huh? Kaboom.
What not to do on a first date. I gotta find out from Jinny what not to do. All right, everybody, get out your pen and paper because you're gonna have to write this down. Okay, class is in session.
Okay, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Rizz class 106.
Rizz class. Oh wait,
Teacher is
106.
back with the glasses.
No.
This lesson is very important. I assume that you guys already understand women perfectly. And men
Yes.
as well. And then you could easily get a date now. So you guys are going on.
As a woman, I understand all women 100%.
First date now.
Surely.
But then there are multiple things that people make mistake on the first date. So I'm gonna tell you guys today the things not to do on the first date. Very
Okay,
important.
okay.
Just keep this in mind. Then you're gonna make a great impression on the first date. And when you ask her out on the second date, she's gonna say yes.
Oh, okay.
So, number one, applies to some people in chat who keep talking about sex. You are on a first date with the person. If you act creepy, if you keep talking about sexual stuff,
Sex.
she's gonna feel so uncomfortable. And she's gonna be like, what is wrong with this guy? This guy is like, what, sex maniac or something?
Sex
Unless
maniac.
she's also sex maniac. But I'm talking about
Stinky.
in general. This actually happened to me IRL. Went
Baka.
on a date with a guy, Korean guy, and then he was like,
Every woman I said they had orgasm, and then like my exes will leave me alone. They just always call me and say like, please can we just meet and then have one night.
I was like,
I really want to tell you guys that I haven't experienced this, but I have. It just caught like casual conversation, not even on a date with a guy. Just like legitimately, like I had this happen before. Like in high school while I was just in like a group project with someone. Is this his attempt at flirting? Cause like I don't know what I'm supposed to say back to that. Like it was like the same scenario where they were just like, oh man, yeah, like my exes just won't stop bothering me because my friggin' sausage is huge. And every time I put it on the table, it breaks it. And I'm just like, okay. So our assignments due Tuesday. Like, what am I supposed to say? What?
asked, is that supposed to be a brag? Is that supposed to be something to impress me? Because that does not impress me at all.
Yeah.
My head size is huge. Like, who asked? Literal pogo. Why are you talking about this?
Also,
Why?
I figure it must be, like, super tiny if you have to tell everyone. Like, why do you have to tell everyone? Like, we're in a group project, my dude. We didn't even start a topic like that. Like, why is this the first thing I gotta know about you?
Like, you already saw all my IG posts before I met you. Yeah, I know everything about you. People do that. Like, for example, before meeting, you could check their posts, but you don't really talk about it.
Oh yeah, I saw it on your Instagram. You did all this, right?
No, yeah, I pretend that I didn't see. I was like, if he mentioned about something that he did that I saw on Instagram, I'll be like, oh yeah, that sounds so cool. You would say that, but you don't really talk about it.
You're right, Chet. The smallest dog barks the most. That's a perfect analogy. Oh, man.
About it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You don't want to come on like too strong. Like stalker vibe? Yeah. Like,
Yeah, I think that's really creepy if they're like, I've been following you on all your social media. I know you went to Taco Bell yesterday and got 2 Crunchwrap Supremes. I also like Crunchwrap Supremes. It's like, whoa, my dude. Whew.
I want to give off stalker vibe. Number 2, don't be late. I'm so bad at this. Don't be late. Even on the first date, I always go late, like 10 minutes. I'm sorry. It happens. I'm like, oh my god.
I feel like this happens, but you gotta let them know. And, like, if they don't know you that well, they might think you just ditched.
But I tell them, oh my god, traffic is like really bad. I'm gonna be like 10 minutes late. I'm sorry. But still, very basic. Okay, number 3.
Communication.
If you touch your phone, like on the first date, you keep touching your phone like this. Oh yeah, you're listening. Oh yeah, that sounds so fun. If your date is keep touching her phone a lot, it means she's probably not into you. Same goes for women and men. But even though though you're not really into the person, I think on the very first date, it's polite thing to not touch your phone that much. It's basically,
I feel like every person I see in public now is constantly touching their phone. Whereas, like, for me, I can't multitask very well. So, like, I will forget people exist outside of who I'm talking to. Like, I will, like, my mom will call me and be like, I thought you said you weren't doing anything today. I'm like, yeah, but then I talked to a friend. And she's like, did you not see my message or that I called you? I'm like, nope. Because, you know, a friend called me and, like, so my entire world was talking to that friend for the foreseeable future until we stopped and then the rest of the world, like, appeared around me.
I think it's kind of rude in general. But a lot of people make mistakes like this because we are living in the 21st century where social media takes over the entire world. So
Yeah.
you're so used to touching your phone, you're always like touching. Number 4, this is very important and a lot of people make this mistake. Talking about your exes, bad-mouthing them especially, is terrible. Like, for example...
Nobody wants to hear your trauma dump, okay? Not even, like, I feel like this goes for friends, too. It's like, if you just meet someone and you're, like, learning about them, nobody wants you to just be, like, bad-mouthing people. It's like, I'm sorry about that.
This was crazy. What the f***? If you say...
Oh my god, I broke up with my ex because my ex was crazy. And then she would, like,
I'm okay. I'm fine.
Oh, shut up! I'm on the class!
Kinshana.
These people who are redeeming sounds are rude! I am...
Not the redeems!
Listen to a teacher! This is very important for a human world population, especially Korea, Japan.
The boss music.
Down, you know? This is for the future of the world.
The boss music.
Back to this, don't talk about your exes or badmouth them.
My ex was crazy. She would just go through my phone. She was obsessed with me. She would delete all the female numbers and everything.
And I was like, what?
My ex was really fat.
Or something like that.
It's like,
that's terrible.
it's like it's just like, I don't know what to say about this, brother. Like, please, like, I don't know you enough. Like, what the heck? Whoa!
She would just go through my phone. She was obsessed with me. She would delete all the female numbers and everything.
And I was like, what?
My ex was really fat.
Or something like that. That's terrible.
She wouldn't exercise, so I broke up with her.
That's like also pretty big red flag, bro. Number 5. Okay, this happens a lot, actually. Like, for example, I'm a yapper. I'm a streamer, guys. But I always try to make sure that I ask about other people. Like, for example, if I go on a date, I'm like, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. But then, what about you? What do you do? I like this kind of stuff. What about you? I always ask. Always.
You gotta, like, you know, care about learning about them and stuff.
To always ask, what about you? Some people who are maybe like, who likes to talk a lot, that would just go on and on and on and on.
I think I see this with people who are nervous. I don't see people do this to be mean, but I see it a lot of times because they're like, I need to, like, sell myself to them. Like, that sounds weird, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like I need to be interesting enough that they want to talk to me, so it comes off kind of, like, desperate, I guess. You know, they would just like you if you asked, if you just seemed like you cared about, you know, wondered about them. You know, if you seemed considerate, that would have been fine. Like...
they're alive, yeah.
Oh, I did this kind of stuff, I did that kind of
stuff. They just keep talking and talking about themselves. You're just like, Very bad impression. She's gonna be like, what the f? So it depends on the personality. If the guy is like quiet person and the woman is yapper, and then the guy doesn't want to talk that much, then it's a good match.
Yeah, it's not always a bad thing, right? It's just kind of like the vibes.
Oh, right? Even so, you still gotta ask about the person, you know? If you constantly talk about yourself, then the person is gonna be like, damn, this person is kind of full of herself. Always ask, what about you? Don't only talk about yourself. That is
I feel like this works with friends, too. If you want to make friends, don't just talk about yourself. Don't trauma dump or you know, get into gossip. Just, like, ask them about themselves. Ask them what they like to do. Don't just talk about yourself. It's just, like... This is also just, like, how you treat other people, and how you come off as caring about them, right? Nobody wants to be friends with someone who only talks about themselves and never asks them how they're doing.
Very, very important. And then, someone did say in the chat, no politics or religion. I think this kind of depends, though. It's so sensitive. I would not recommend you to talk about
Man,
politics
that's
and religion on the
crazy.
first
It's almost like that applies to streamers and friendships and like just people in general. Like if it's not like established that you guys share the same like belief systems, that you probably don't just want to come in and you know, just drive by, just casually like sneak that in. That's probably not gonna go well.
first date. Yeah, because if you talk about politics and religion, oh yeah, I'm liberal. What about you? Are you Republican or liberal?
Oh,
my
God.
you're Republican? What the f?
Bro, calm
Because
down.
I'm
I'd be
liberal.
like, I'm leaving. I don't care. I don't care if it's like a date, if it's like a friend, if it like just wowie.
What the f? You could ask like,
Oh, are you Catholic?
oh no, I'm Christian. Like, I guess you could do that a little bit, maybe. If it goes like too political or too religious, it gets uncomfortable. Anyway, if you
Yup.
talk about politics and religions on first date, it's gonna be too sensitive. I would not recommend you to do that. Number 7, don't lose control. Don't get too drunk. On
Oh,
the very
gosh.
first date, I never get too drunk. I don't
Bro, okay, I'm sorry that I keep making the platonic friendship connections here, but like this is something that happens to me in friendships all the time, where it's like I will go and meet someone at parties and then it's like we're not that close of friends, but it's like, you know, they're absolutely destroyed and I'm just like, okay, and then they don't remember me the next day and I'm like, it makes you look bad as a friend too, okay? It's super inconsiderate to not be like, to be a grown adult and just like expect everyone else to take care of you or just be like a total mess when you first meet someone. Like, get it together.
I cannot really drink that much when I'm at the nervous situations. I want to look good. But then if you go, hey, oh my gosh, and you would do some crazy shit, you would do all this like embarrassing stuff. I get drunk with the people that I'm comfortable with. That's it.
Yeah, like
Almost
you
not-
should only like do things like this with people you know. And like you should still be able to handle yourself, I feel like. Or if you're not, you should be with people that like you trust, not just random people you've only met once. Whoa.
10% of chance, bad ending. Because if you get too drunk, what could happen is you might also not remember what happened. Or if
Yeah, they didn't. Okay, I'm sorry. I've had so many girls not remember that we met the other day or what we talked about. When I see this person together, like, who are you? And I'm like, oh God. Another girl who does not remember me. I gotta stop being so nice to people.
two of you guys get completely drunk, then you go have sex, and then the what? Like, you won't even remember the sex that you had. Because, like, if she remembers everything and you don't remember anything, and then she talk about it, and
Oh,
you're
that's a
like,
good point. Oof.
Well, I'm not really sure what happened.
then she's gonna be like, wow, what the f? Number
Wow.
8, don't come. Obviously, don't come on the first date. On too strong. So,
I mean, both of those
so
work.
For example,
No.
I'm on this first date because I want to get married. I'm not
2 for
saying
1
that.
in this one.
Exactly. Scatter. Or like already talking about far future. What do you think about prenup? I don't know. I think that's like too strong. Like, on
Oh
the
my
first
God.
date,
I would be so out. Like, brother. Like, how do you, like, the other thing is like, how do you answer this? Do you just be like, maybe, but, you know, I'm not even thinking about that with you. I just met you. Like, what the hell? It's like, let me just scoot you back an arm's length. Like, back it up there, brother.
Like, you don't really ask that kind of question, right? This is also coming on too strong. If you compliment someone too much, like, you can say, like, you look really nice today. Like,
Yeah, sure,
simple.
that's nice.
But if you
People
do,
like compliments, right? Also, girls should compliment guys more. Hot take. Tell him, like, he looks nice. It might come off a little bit, like, I know girls don't do that, but I guarantee you he would think it was nice. Even if it came off a little strange. Like,
Oh my God, you have such beautiful eyes and your boobs. Amazing.
those
Oh,
honga
that makes
bonga badongas, man, must have been sculpted by the gods. Man, the work God did on you makes me want to believe in religion. Oh wait, religion's off bounds, never mind.
very uncomfortable.
The
Never
moment
mind.
I saw you, I immediately realized that I want to be your simp forever.
I don't know. If it's too strong, they're gonna be like, oh, like, what the f? Okay, number 9.
Bro, I don't know why, but sometimes also the type of compliment matters. Like, I once had this guy, like, lean into me and be like, you smell nice. And I was like, It's like, I feel like I should have taken that as a compliment, but now I want to run away. I want to run away. Stop sniffing me.
Watching this, don't ask too much question about material stuff. Like, for example, what car do you drive? How much do you earn? Why? Isn't that considered kind of rude to ask on the first date as well? I naturally get to know it. I wouldn't even ask, no matter how many times.
I'd be like, bro, are you like, is this an undercover cop interview? Like, what? Why do you need to know this?
Person, what car do you drive? Do you have a house? I think it's kind of uncomfortable.
I'm afraid, man. I'm afraid I can't get away. They're already figuring out, like, how to catch me if I'm running.
Question, to be honest. How much money do you have in your bank account? What is your credit card information?
Bro's trying to figure out if I can, how far I can go and if I have the money to fill up my gas tank to get away from them.
What is your social
I'm worried.
security number? No, you don't really ask that kind of question. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of weird. Are you FBI? People run.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just like, what the?
Or interrupt your date talking. If your date is talking, blah 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 blah, and then be like,
Oh my god, like, I did that too, blah, 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 blah.
and then all of a sudden you interrupt your date's talking multiple
I am this person with friends, with anybody. Even with my family, it's like I get so excited that like sometimes, I mean, at least my friends understand. I've tried so hard, but I even have friends now that are like same brand, and we interrupt each other like, oh, no, sorry, you were talking. Oh, wait, no, sorry, continue your thought. Oh, it's worse online too, like with friends, because like you can't like look at their face to see when they start and end. Like you can't see that they're like going to say something else. Ugh.
times, then that's bad, obviously. Sometimes it happens that I accidentally interrupt the person's conversation whenever they're talking and immediately say, oh, sorry, you finish first.
That's
you know?
me.
And that happens, you apologize.
Sorry.
And then you wait for them to finish and be like, yeah, and then I talk or something like
I've
that.
literally had also since like, okay, me and my dad kind of talk the same. I've had a friend over and me and my dad were on like a yammering fest. Like we were both like super interested in what we were saying and we're like, ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba. And then my friend, okay, when I was driving home and they were with me and I was just driving them back to their place and they just looked like they were tired and I was like, what's wrong? And they're like, oh my God. They're like, listening to you and your dad talk, I like couldn't figure out what you guys were saying. It was just like the most neurospice conversation. It was like you guys were both interrupting each other and then both going on tangents and then both apologizing. I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry. They're like, no, it was fine. It's just like I could not figure out how you guys were maintaining a conversation at that speed. Like,
it's basic manner. You don't really want to interrupt someone talking, but this is annoying even not on the first date, just in general. Like if you have friends keep interrupting you when you're talking, it's just annoying as right? Number 11. On a first date, if you curse excessively. Okay, sometimes I curse. Sometimes. If you don't piss me off, I wouldn't swear that much. On a first date, I don't really cuss. If I don't know the person, I don't really curse at all. What the is curse? Like f***ing annoying, you cunt. That kind of stuff is curse.
Yeah.
Okay, number 12.
I'm kind of the same just because I figure like I don't know this person. I'm not super comfortable with them, so I'm gonna kind of... like, I'm gonna be more, like, polite and stuff. I
also
guess.
super no-no and
with
super
anybody
red
I don't
flag.
know.
If you're rude to staffs and other people, this is huge turn off. Like, for example, the date is, like, really nice to you, but all of a sudden to waiter,
Bro,
like,
this is, like, an instant no. Even with friends, okay? It's like, you about to be a Karen to the staff. You're about to be a jerk to the minimum wage worker. Same with animals. Like, if you're rude to animals, it's like, hell no.
Oh my god, why was the food so late?
I
Hell
find it very
no,
attractive
brother.
if someone is generally very nice to other people. Like, for example, if I'm dining and then Steph accidentally poured water on my clothes, I'll just be like, oh, it's okay. Steph will be like,
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
it's okay. I'll be
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. But if Steph was rude
Here, just wipe it with this.
or something like that, I'll be like, the f***? But I wouldn't really escalate the situation. I think it shows their personality too really well. If the guy is like in generally very good at dealing with dramas and then like, you know, rude people, and then he doesn't get escalated immediately, then it shows like how good in control, like his emotions. But if the guy's like, or if the woman that you're dating is rude to Steph or other people, it's a first date, so they're like pretending to be nice kind of, but then later on, they might turn into like, if you get to know the person, they might be rude to you afterwards, you know? 13!
I don't even think it's just that. Like, I had a friend, for example, that, like, I stopped being their friend after a while, and one of the big red flags they had was that they were just, like, and I didn't know this right away, but they were like extremely rude to like anybody like working at a lot of places. They would try to get free stuff. And it was like incredibly embarrassing to be associated with them. Like I always wanted to get out of the place I was with them. At the time I was not an adult, by the way. So it was like I kind of like I wish I would have been like, hey, this isn't okay, but also it was like my first time having a friend do this, like be this way. And I was a lot younger, so I was just kind of taken aback. But like ever since that, I'm like, oh man, like I don't care what we are, like friends, dating, whatever it is. Like I don't want to be in public and be stressed out because like I'm with like the most insufferable human.
It's like a huge controversial topic all over the world, but it kind of settled as in like, okay, if a person asks you out first, then the person who asked out first pay. If I asked the guy out first, I wouldn't let him pay because I asked him out first. I feel like that's fair. Asians are kind of like, no, I'll pay. Even between friends, we're like, I'll pay. No, I pay this time. Culture is kind of involved here. And then there are a lot of men would like to just pay first as well because it's like,
oh, if I pay more manly.
Kind of like that.
If a woman offers to pay, insists, so you accept her money. 50-50 she gets offended. Red flag.
A lot of women just say it though. They don't actually want to, but a lot of women just like offer. I'll pay half.
Yeah, sure.
And then you get offended. But like, if you go on a date and then you refuse to pay, well, that's what
that's like really bad. Like I almost feel like no matter where you are, if you're just like, I'm not paying, like that's gonna come off so bad.
Same for women too. I think you at least have to show gesture. Like for example,
showing gesture. I feel like if a girl even does this and it's like, I'm not paying, I feel like the guy should be alerted. I know this is less common, but like I feel like it's nice to offer to pay, but if a girl or guy is like, I'm not paying, I feel like that's so rude. Like why you gotta be like that?
And then they bring out the check. Here's the check. Don't even look at the check. Just fixing lipstick. Yeah, so just like don't even show a gesture. I think that's kind of like
that's so rude.
Like, how much is it? And then show gesture. Like I'll pay.
I've had guy friends who have dated girls like this and I'm like, bro. Nah, that's so bad.
They have or something. Number 14. Don't brag too much.
I have like Lamborghini and then multiple cars.
If you're dating a gold digger, maybe she might like it. But like, if you brag so much,
oh gosh, bragging's so bad.
If people ask like, how many followers do you have? I don't want to brag, but also at the same time, I don't want to look like I'm bragging, but also at the same time, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to answer in that.
I would just be like, does it matter, brother? I don't know. It wasn't like I came here and like was like, I need to know my follower counts. What?
Move on really fast. Like, move on from the topic. If there was a question, then you can answer about something to brag about. But no question, and then you keep talking about it, then it's a pogo. Who asked? Yes, I'm like a social influencer. I have 1 million followers on Twitch. Pretty much a big deal. Like, what the f? That's like,
stop that. Disgusting.
So bad. I would never, ever do that. I don't even like calling myself influencer. What the f?
It's just like, if somebody talks like this, I just assume they have no depth whatsoever. Like, if this is what they put pride in, if this is what they think is interesting, then this is gonna be like watching paint dry. Please don't.
Yeah, I am working at this place, and then I make so much money. I think I make like 6 figures.
Oh, God.
Don't brag too much. That's what you say every day. I don't say that every day. What the fuck? Just people ask me. Okay, number 15. Don't overshare, such as sad stories on the first date. Because like, if you don't know
trauma dump
much, like they
again.
don't know how to react. My dog died.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And yeah, it's just, I mean, it's sad, man. On the first date.
A lot of these work is like what to not say as Twitch, like a Twitch streamer or as like a viewer of a Twitch stream. This just really works for socializing with anyone almost. Like, just basic things to go by. You don't even have to be wanting to date someone. Like, these all work out. Like, follow these with anyone you talk to.
sharing your PTSD or like some sad stuff, the date is gonna be like, I ain't your therapist. The person barely knows about you. The person don't even know if they want to date you more or not. But yeah, share too much about sad stories and etc. on the first date, that's no good topic. So don't overshare. Number 16, don't ask too many questions.
Oh
like
God.
an interview. The conversation should be kind of like naturally going.
This is a date, not an interrogation.
Does this to a guy that she goes out with? What do you guys think? So what type of girl do you like? So what do you do if this happens? What if I do this? So many questions. Basically, she's doing an interview. So in order to make sure that he's the right fit for her, she asks all these questions.
Yeah, we're not trying to date the detective brothers.
For guys, be like...
It feels like a job interview.
Yeah.
Basically, if you do this, they're gonna scatter, you know? They're gonna run away.
Yeah, time to roach out, time to leave.
How much money do you make? How's the job? Do you like it?
Oh, jeez.
The person with so many questions is basically gonna be like, oh my god, this kind of interview. Like, conversation should be very, very good naturally. I'm a Rizz teacher. I'm very good with first date, guys. I've never, ever, ever in my life been not asked for a second date. Bragging? Well, I'm not on a first date with you guys. I'm not bragging too. I'm just saying I'm qualified teacher. Okay, last but not least.
We're about to be
Number
Rizz
17,
extraordinaire.
Don't. I should tell it to my brother, complain, judgmental, or be negative, Andy. Because if you're so negative and complaining or anything, you're not just giving off a good vibe. Scenario, you go on a date with a woman and she's like, oh my god, the food here is like really bad, isn't it? Yeah, oh, the environment is so bad too. Yeah, this place is really bad. It's like, it's kind of shit.
If this is something that you are like with the first time you meet someone, I feel like it only goes downhill from here. Like,
oh my god, the waiter was like really weird. Or like whatever, she's like constantly talking bad shit, bad mouthing everything. Yeah, that's a red flag as well. Like, I don't really complain at all on the first date. Like, for example, I remember I went on a date with a guy and then the steak they cooked was like really bad. I didn't say anything. It was like,
Do you like the food?
yes, great.
I have done this so many times. Even with friends, because I'm just so excited to go out that if the food's bad, I just pretend it's not. I just don't say anything. Like, I do not say, like, even if I'm close to the friend, I don't know what my problem is. I'm just like, I'm just happy I'm hanging out with somebody. Oh, man.
Like, because the person is making an effort to make the first date work, and then you don't want to ruin it by complaining it. If you go on a first date, even though you don't really like something that much, just keep it to yourself. Don't talk about every negative thing that you were thinking. Don't forget, it's a first date, right? So what do you want to do? Want to make a good impression.
How is she writing at that angle?
A good impression.
Impression.
Well, I think it's like you can show your true self after a little bit, because if the person actually likes your personality, you can show yourself a little by little. Like, you accept the other person's flaws as well as time goes by. You compromise. But in the very beginning, you kind of want to inhibit the certain things because nobody is perfect. Everybody has their flaws.
Yeah,
I
for
wouldn't
sure.
act like how I act on stream on the first date. I wouldn't fucking goblin twerk in front of the guy, or I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying?
That would be crazy right out the gate.
Good first impression. To do that, follow the instructions. Good job today, guys. Class dismissed.
That was good. I really liked this video. I feel like a lot of these are just helpful overall. Like, just meeting new people or talking to people, basic things to go by. These are all solid. Yeah, it's great. Just socializing advice. 11 out of 10. We're learning very much. Let's go.